take you from meeting people to
making money.
I'm Sheryl Powers.
I'm Rob Bliss.
I hope we already know each other. Right?
Yes.
At this juncture, I hope we do. And if we don't, find us on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
You see our names down below, so find us on LinkedIn.
And check out Network Today on LinkedIn as well.
That's right. I forget there are people we don't know.
I know.
So it just happens. This is a really passionate subject of mine that we're going to discuss today.
Okay.
The easy, effective one-to-one hack.
Ooh, I like that.
Because you're a fan of one-to-ones, right?
I think in the last week and a half, I've probably had 7.
All right, so we're going to cover some really strategic ground on one-to-ones because not everybody realizes it's a strategy. There should be a plan in place.
There's a purpose.
That's right. So we're going to give you that plan.
Be prepared.
That's right, along with some steps that I do that you can adopt or manufacture your own steps.
Right.
And then some good action items that we're going to leave you with. One-to-ones. That's where the magic happens, Rob.
Absolutely. This is the beginning of building relationships.
When we talk about taking you from meeting people to making money, meeting people to me is at an event.
Right.
Or online.
Right.
Or through some kind of group impersonal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the money part comes through meeting people in person. It's this one-to-one is where the magic happens. And I just can't stress that enough.
Yeah, to me too, it's the fact that it's kind of where you qualify the people that you meet.
Yes.
Because again, we meet somebody at a networking event, and again, they're great people and all that kind of. So you book your one-to-one, but when you do and it's you're qualifying for your industry, and it's not just all about you. It's how can you help them?
Yeah.
And so you don't want to make it, waste their time or whatever.
Yeah.
But I really think that's an important step in the one-to-one is qualifying. And then, as I always say, loved getting to know you, and I'm definitely going to put you on my Christmas card list. So hey.
Referral Christmas card list. Yes. So your favorite one-to-one type, you don't have to say the person, but just kind of in your mind's eye, go back to one of your best one-to-ones and tell me why it was great.
Well, I say one of the best ones was just last week with somebody I met at Connect Fest.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I think she was referred by you, so I'm not going to tell the name, but she was just thoroughly enjoyable because, again, she asked good questions. She didn't just talk about herself and she was just kind of starting a new business. But she was just so entertaining in the fact that she had a servant's heart. She wanted to help people, loved helping people, great conversationalist, and she asked the right questions of like, how can I help you? So yeah, she was really the epitome of what a great networker is about. It was thoroughly, and she had great stories, very successful at different careers that she had. But yeah, it was very enjoyable.
That's awesome. Well, and you can go back to one of the episodes we did recently on the conversation. Mm-hmm. That's a great thing to master because then these one-to-ones happen with the rave reviews. 5 stars from Rob because you asked the right questions.
Right.
And it's the what, when, where, why, how, and which.
Right.
Which is just master that. It sounds so stupid simple, but truly that's where the beauty comes in. So what is the purpose of a one-to-one in your mind?
Okay, I think for me, the purpose is it someone I can put on my power team? Are they going to be in my team B or team C?
Okay.
So and with that has a level of how they can help me, but also how I can help them. Yeah. Because again, we meet so many people, you only have so much time. Yeah. So you've got to really, again, put this ranking system together.
And we have had 2 separate Power Team episodes. Mm-hmm. Go back and find those on YouTube because they were really great. That will give you a reference to what he's talking about. For me, the purpose is I want to get to know you, right? But for the purpose of giving a referral, needing a referral, or just making a friend. So understand why you're meeting with that person.
Right.
If you can break it down into one of those 3 categories, giving a referral, that's my favorite.
Right.
Needing a referral, it happens, or just making a friend. Some people, how many people moved into the North Texas area recently that need to make a friend?
Thousands.
Yeah, thousands a day.
Yeah.
So I'm meeting them all day long, and it's awesome that they're out networking because they want to make a friend. But then ultimately, they need to start making some money. But friendship can come first.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you can even take it a little bit ahead of friendship and to say just making a business connection.
Yeah.
That these two people are going to have they have something in common. They've got good synergy.
Yeah.
They must meet.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one of my favorite trainers, and I probably worn this out, but it was years ago, my sales days, and he's here in Addison, I think. Joe Charbonneau. I mean, he's no longer, but his establishment, his training is still around. And here's one of the things he said that lived with me. It was life-changing for me when I was in sales, just trying to sell some radio airtime, right? Just trying to sell some air. He said, people will meet you for one of 2 reasons. Now, apply this to one-to-one.
Okay.
People will meet you for one of 2 reasons. They either want to do business with you or they're lonely.
Oh.
That made it. Wow. All of a sudden, I can still to this day remember the person that I met with after I learned that nugget, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're lonely. Now, lonely's okay. People are. We were just talking about needing to make friends.
Sure. No, absolutely.
But if you can establish the line between, hey, they're there to do business, or they're there because they're lonely.
But again, to me, it looks a part of developing better relationships. If you can break through that loneliness and then get deep inside who they are. Number one, that's the joy of building better relationships, helping them.
Yeah.
That's what the value you're bringing, and that's what's great about the one-to-one.
That's right. So let's talk about one-to-one timing. Understand for you what the best time of day is, the length of that, and the location. So consider that. Some people, especially if they're new to networking, Rob, and we forget this because we've been doing this a while, they're driving all over the freaking state of Texas, which is no small, that's, a nation for sure. And they can't figure out why they can't do anything. They can't get anything done, right? That they're time poor. So pay attention to the time of day. Is that your money-making time?
Right.
The location. And are you being skilled in establishing multiple one-to-ones in that location? Being smart about that and managing your time a little better. So what are your money-making hours? When are you actually with decision makers for Smart Office, for Purple Cow? When are your money-making hours?
My money-making hours are from 9 to 11 and from 2 to 3:30.
Okay, 9 to 11, 2 to 3:30. Is that Monday through Friday?
Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday.
Yeah,
okay,
just Monday through Thursday.
So a good day for you for one-to-ones then is Fridays or after 3 o'clock during the week.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, Tuesday through Thursday are my money-making hours because I'm talking to employee teams then. I'm doing training, and that's 8 to 3. That's my goal.
Okay.
Gold. So that's why I schedule things midday on Mondays. So I have that Monday morning to take care of business, grab some one-to-one time with people midday on Monday, and then Friday, because that's a little flex time. That's kind of clean up the week and have some one-to-one. But be really careful about not letting your one-to-ones cannibalize your money-making hours. That's a killer for entrepreneurs.
No, absolutely. Well, I'm going to kind of throw a question at you.
Yeah.
Just thought of this just recently, and I wanted to. As soon as I said, man, I gotta ask Sheryl about this. But when you're, because we are out there, we're meeting so many people, we're trying to book the one-on-ones, and again, you can't spend too much time. So I was thinking, would it be setting up a one-on-one as a Zoom call first to sort of pre-qualify them to have a one-on-one, and you could do that Zoom call where it's, a 15, 20 minute, so there's no drive time in that involved, that you could then make a better judgment to then having to one-to-one. What do you think about that?
I used to hate it.
Okay.
Because it's if you want to meet me, let's go. But the truth is, then time becomes your greatest asset, and it can make you poor if you're not managing it properly. So I've had to change my tune on that.
Okay.
I've had to go back on how I felt and say, yes, I like what you're saying. What I will recommend on one-to-ones is, if you don't know that person, never do a virtual phone call. Some people say, well, let's just do a phone chat.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
No.
I have no idea what you look like. I don't know
never-
what your body
yeah.
language is.
Yeah.
The virtual's hard enough, but
Right.
try and make it a web call or FaceTime, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would never do just a phone call for the first
I
time.
won't either.
No.
People I know, yes. People I don't know, absolutely not. But I do think that's a great way. And I have some Fridays that I'll have 6 or 7 one-to-ones back to back. It's exhausting, but boy, I got a lot done.
Yeah.
Right.
And and two is sometimes at these networking events, when you do spend 5-10 minutes with somebody, that's to me like a substitute for that pre-qualifying, where you got a chance to meet them. You're saying, this person, let's book a one-to-one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna tell you how I do one-to-ones, because I can't say that I've mastered it at all, but I think I've gotten so much better that people are like, Sheryl, how do you do so many referrals from your one-to-ones? Well, first I keep my one-to-one down to an hour or less.
Okay.
I try not to let it, unless it's just like free and easy and I got
Right.
the time, but it's hard stop at an hour.
Right.
But I try to do
I like
45
that.
minutes.
Yeah.
Hard stop. Busy people get more done.
Yeah.
And then you get into the meat of it
Right.
faster. So I also, and I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert on my hack at the end, but I also have systems in place. So I break down my one-to-one. So when we get into the one-to-one, virtually or in person, I want to know about the person first. Don't you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Didn't we have an episode about WDYD?
Yes.
And that's the killer for me. So what do you do? Like straight out of the chute? No. What does it matter? If you don't like me,
Right,
what does it
right.
matter? So let's get to know each other first and see if we like each other and find some common ground, like just as people.
Yeah.
So here's some of the things I look for. So in case you're trying to master this, these are my 3 sections. So the first one is the life stuff. And that's,
Okay.
where do you live? So,
Right.
oh, hey, I know we were trying to meet one-to-one. Now we're doing a virtual because you're up in, where'd you say, Prosper? Right. And I'm down in East Dallas. So how long have you lived there? Just ask some questions. When did you move? Oh, my gosh, you moved from Atlanta 2 years ago?
Right.
I know somebody who just moved from Atlanta.
Yeah.
They totally need to get to know you, right? So
Love
those are
that.
great.
Love that.
Great synergy points about their family.
Mm-hmm.
And I write all this down. Now, some people feel like, what are you doing? And I'm like, because things leave my pea brain. I need to put it down. Are they married? Kids? How many? Do they go to college? Or how old are they? That
Right.
kind of thing. What do you do for fun? Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites. That is a WDYDFF. So what do you do for fun? And then mutual organizations. So like I met somebody, I was saying, oh my gosh, husband's doing a new golf networking thing with Eric Harrison, right? They're doing that's called Connect 4, like F-O-R-E, very clever,
Right.
networking. And they said, oh, I would love to go. I don't golf, but I do pickleball. Well, who do you think I'm going to refer them to? You, Sean Rosensteel, JJ Checky, because a pickleball. So it's those types of things.
Right.
So that's the first category, the life stuff.
Okay.
Number 2,
Number 2.
and we talked a lot about this at Connect Fest. How does what you do help others? So instead of saying, what do you do? And you get this just the repositioning of this.
Right.
How does what you do help others?
Yeah.
How does that help get a broader or a better defined business component out of that person?
I mean, I love that phrase just because it's broad and it's just not generic. Like what do you do? What do you do for a living? And again, it's how do you help others? That's help it. People love to help people.
Well, and it becomes the business from the heart.
Yeah.
Right. So I lead with my heart in my business, and this is why I do it. So it kind of gets the passion side out of it. So that's section number 2. Number 3, this is my final section, is my referral list.
Okay.
So first is what, so I built this out of, I need to know your favorite industries to work with, not who you work with, your favorite industries.
Okay.
Not I can work with everybody, stop it. And your best referral partners, not I get referrals from everybody. No, stop that too. And it's, hey, I love super serving school districts. And I get my best referrals from business consultants.
Right.
Right. Those are two very,
Yeah.
the smaller you can make that,
Yeah.
that point, the more referrals you're going to get.
Totally agree with
Right.
that.
And so that's how I make my referral list so this is my hack. I'm going to lead right into my hack.
Okay.
As we give this a wrap, I'm going to lead right into my hack. And here's my hack. So I don't know if you can see it, but it would be as it's trying to come up, my notes app on my iPad. And so people say, how do you do this? Oh, it did come up. Look. So in case you can see this is my notes app, and it's got years and years of all of my one-to-ones and keywords in there of B2B CFO. So if the person I'm meeting with says, hey, I need to know a B2B CFO or those who work in that space, I just put that in the search section and up come 10 names and I put those up. Do you see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that's how I really...
That's awesome.
And then everything sits chronologically. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's in queue, even if it takes me 2 or 3 weeks to get back with somebody with the referrals I'd promised, right? So that's how I do it.
That is brilliant. That is absolutely, I love
Was that
it.
helpful?
Yes, that was brilliant. Right. Wow.
So that's how people say, how do you do all that? Well, it took me years to get that down.
Right.
But that's what really works for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and we can talk about how we make the introductions. That should be a whole episode, how you introduce people through the referral process. But what are your thoughts? What are some of your one-to-one hacks?
Well, I would say the one I focus on for my hack on the one-to-one again would be the follow-up after, so you don't get, we get ghosted so many times.
Yeah.
Is that I try to, set an incentive there of what I need to do for them to give that value so that 45 minutes we spent together, they're not just going to walk out of here and ghost me, that with the value I gave them. And, the referrals always are great, the connecting them with other people, getting them an appointment. But again, just that combination, by bringing value to the one-on-one, I think you're going to form, that's when it leads to that, what we've talked about before is the one-on-ones, 2.0.
Yeah.
Is that it leads to that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's great. So there you have it. The one-to-one, the magic, and we'll have another follow-up episode that talks about the exact follow-up methods and how best to do that and how to set the expectations.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. That's so important, and it just needs to be constantly reminded at all times,
That's right. And don't forget, save the date for Connect Fest Midway on 2525. 2525. That's going to be a super great event. We don't have the link out yet, but we will. And to you, my friend.
To a great week.
To a great week. Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
making money
faster, and we'll see you soon.